Hello, welcome to my show, Olio. My name is Susan Rushton, and before I go any further, I need, as always, to explain what Olio means. One definition is that it's short for olla podrida, which is Spanish for rotten bowl, which I always just get such a kick out of. It's a Spanish-Portuguese dish with essentially everything in the world in it. Pork in all its iterations, pig's feet, bacon, sausage, as well as chicken, chickpeas, what else? Garlic, onions, essentially everything in the world except applesauce and Fritos. That's one definition. Another definition is that oleo is what comes in between acts of a melodrama. You can have somebody juggling, you can have somebody singing, you can have somebody doing a skit, but none of it has anything to do with anything else, and certainly none of it has anything to do with a melodrama. So, in other words, welcome to my monkey wrench. It's apples, oranges, and a monkey wrench. Thank you for joining me today. And today, my guest is a guy from the 20th century, just like me. I say that because we are connected in an odd kind of way. I write an opinion column for the Auburn Journal, and I've done that since 1989. I've been connected with them since 1987. If you've been around that long, you know that. This gentleman is the new publisher of the Auburn Journal and Gold Country Media. Okay, welcome, Bob Falk, publisher of Gold Country Media. Thank you very much for joining me. How long have you been with, why did you come to the Journal?
Well, I started in January of this year, and I came to hopefully make a difference and help the Auburn Journal and Gold Country Media navigate some turbulent waters and turbulent times in the newspaper and media industry.
Yeah, we are this is the 21st century, and print media is in trouble, but online media is going great guns, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And so what are the changes coming?
Well, first I want to distinguish between the media that the print media that are publishing daily and publishing weekly.
Okay.
We are a community paper, and we're a community paper in Auburn. The Gold Country Media has community papers in the rest of South Placer County, down into Folsom and up to Colfax, and we are weekly papers in all those areas.
Yeah.
And only in Auburn are we published 5 days a week, so we consider ourselves a daily paper.
Mm-hmm.
The changes that are coming are twofold. The biggest change, if you're in Auburn, is that we're going to change to a 2-day-a-week distribution from 5-day. So
Which days?
We'll be going Thursday and Sunday.
Okay.
And currently we're Tuesday through Friday and Sunday. So we'll lose Tuesday, we'll lose Wednesday and Friday, we'll keep Thursday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big change if you live in Auburn. But what doesn't change is the local focus of our community journalism. That's what we're all about. That's what we are committed to providing the community of Auburn. It's our place in the world, and we want to do that. We also do that in the other communities we serve in Placer County, and although it's once a week in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
The second big change has to do with the Colfax Record, and the Colfax Record has been around for over 100 years, and its time has come for us to merge it into the Auburn Journal.
Okay.
So the Colfax Record will become a page or series of pages within the Auburn Journal, published on Thursdays, as it is published now. It's published on Thursdays now in Colfax, and the subscribers and the people of Colfax will, instead of getting a dedicated Colfax record on Thursday,
they'll get the Auburn Journal with Colfax Record information in there.
There you have it. They'll get the Auburn Journal on Thursdays, and they'll also get it complimentary on Sundays as well. So they'll actually get 2 papers for what they used to pay for 1.
Okay,
So
cool. So people I've talked to people who are, oh my God, what's happening? And 2 days a week for the journal, but that's the print paper. Something's also happening online.
That's right. With online, we consider ourselves a 24/7 media company, and that does not change. We continue to post articles online, breaking news as it comes up, and that is only going to increase as a focus moving forward. It's just important in today's day and age. But we think the printed publication is very important as well. We have so many readers who just love the tangibility and the experience of sitting down with a paper.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't get that online, even with
True.
today's tablets and things. It's just not the same as opening up a paper, relaxing and reading about your community news. And that's a niche we want to continue to fill as long as people will take the paper.
Great, good, okay. So, what do you have to say to people who worry about what's happening to journalism? I guess you have to say that we're going. They'll always have the for as long as there's a paper, as long as you have subscribers, you'll have a print version.
Yeah, I should modify that to say as long as we have readers, because if we can provide local community news to a readership, then that's a niche we can fill, and that's what we want to do. That's what we're about. So I see that continuing for hopefully a long, long time. We've been in business for 145 years as the Auburn Journal, and hopefully we have another 145 in us and more.
Yes, yes. Why are you involved in journalism?
Interesting question. I got started in the media industry in Southern California. I went to school at Berkeley and moved to Southern California as a young man, and was recruited into the Pennysaver publications, which some of your listeners will be
I remember the Pennysaver.
familiar with.
Yeah.
So that's how I got involved in media, and I got a call last December from a former colleague who was working for the Gold Country Media and the Press Tribune paper down in South Placer County, saying that they were looking for a general manager. And wouldn't I consider it, because she would love to have me come on board and help out as best I could with this company. And so I threw my hat in the ring.
Okay.
And I got a call, and it just kind of took off from there, and they hired me and put me in the position as general manager, and I was promoted to publisher over the summer.
Yes, okay. When I was working with the journal, I remember my early days, I would look over at my manager's desk, my editor's desk, and often he wasn't there. What the heck? He's never where I want him to be when I want him to be there. What does he do for a living? And then I got promoted to manager, to a features editor, and I understood what he did all the time. He did everything.
Yeah, you have to be out and about, and especially in these smaller media companies, there are a lot of roles that need to be filled, and people need to jump in and help wherever it's needed. But being out and about is a big part of the job. The community engagement, we need to be connected with our communities, and between our reporters and our content manager, and we've just recently promoted, and that's an announcement that was just in the paper, maybe even today, I'm not sure. But
I haven't seen it yet.
But we are promoting a gentleman named Bill Sullivan to associate publisher, which is really good news for the company. It's good news for me. It's filling a gap. My experience with the editorial side of the business isn't, it's
you
10
were with
months
the
long.
Pennysaver.
Right. And, advertising was our editorial.
Yes,
and this is a different.
And that's the money side that keeps the paper driving, but people don't necessarily read the paper only for the advertising.
No, they did the Pennysaver on
Yeah.
but for the Auburn Journal, we understand that community involvement, community engagement, community news is our niche.
Yes.
And that is provided by, we have a fantastic staff of full-time, part-time stringers who write articles for us, and other people who we welcome to submit articles and to get their viewpoints into the paper, their thoughts into the paper, and the news of the community into the paper, because people want to know.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. So, speaking of that, people roll their eyes at me. Why didn't the journal cover this? Did you let them know? No, they should know. but they maybe they should. Maybe they should. But what if they don't? In my opinion, people in the newspaper are just like everybody else. If somebody doesn't tell them about it, they're not going to know, right? So that's why you encourage people to call the paper, to write their own articles, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, submit letters. They can be done online. They can be handwritten. They can be typed. We'll take that in any format. We just want the engagement.
Yes.
And I can give our number if that helps.
Yes.
Yeah,
Give the
yeah,
number.
you can call 530-885-5656, and that reaches us. Or you can look online at auburnjournal.com, and you can reach us that way.
Uh-huh.
And you can email us from there. You can
Yeah.
contact us, or you can walk in 1030 High Street
Yes.
and let us know. We have an inbox there that fills up. And
Does it really fill up? Good.
People drop things off.
I'm tickled to hear that. Yeah. Okay. And people can even contact you by that 885-5656 number, or contacting you through auburnjournal.com, right?
Yeah, or I can give my,
If you want.
yeah, sure. Yeah,
Be careful what you ask for, Bob.
it's Bob F. at goldcountrymedia.com.
Okay. And that's essentially, well, I won't, yeah, it is, since I brought it up. It's essentially how to reach anybody at the journal. The first name with the last initial at goldcountry.com.
Goldcountrymedia.com.
Goldcountrymedia.com.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. I can imagine that the tension level around the newsroom, around the journal building, is a little tense. What are you telling them?
You'd be surprised. I think everybody is very calm about this. This isn't being decision made in a vacuum. There's been a lot of talk about reducing this. We even had an editorial some number of weeks back about it. Carol Gill
wrote it.
wrote a nice editorial and just soliciting feedback from the community.
Did you get much?
Yeah, we got plenty of feedback, and it wasn't surprising. I think most people, it was encouraging to hear from people that they liked getting 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
They like our paper. They like being connected with the community, and this is the reality of the business. And a fair number of them were able to express that they understood.
Mm-hmm.
They understood what was going on, and not everybody said that, but there were enough of them that we felt, this is a story. It's something we have to do. You have to look at the bigger picture in this, and the bigger picture is community news. Who's going to provide it? You asked earlier about just news in general,
mm-hmm.
and this is our role. Our editorial staff is very committed to editorial integrity. Okay?
Yes.
And you have to be careful in the sources these days to make sure that your source has a similar commitment to editorial integrity. We do our best to tell the truth. And will we slip up? Of course we will. Sometimes we'll make mistakes. But it's our intention and our effort always to tell the truth, because that's our role. People want to know the news.
what really
I'm not
is
sure
happening.
what
out there.
really is happening. So that's something that a community news organization is able to do. It's a value in what we bring to the party, bring to the community, and I don't get the same thing from the online forums always. When I look on different online forums and
Who is this telling me this?
what's their agenda?
Okay.
You know, our agenda is to tell the news.
Yeah.
That's our agenda. It's
To share what's happening in the community.
It's pretty simple.
Okay.
It's pretty simple.
And this is, this is a remarkable community. When I came to Auburn in 1985, I expected it to stay the same. And then the minute I arrived, things started. I saw changes. When I came here, we didn't have the Auburn Symphony. We didn't have the State Theater as it is. We didn't have Silver Screen Classic Movie Series, first Saturday of the month at the Auburn Library, auburnsilverscreen.com. And we didn't have Auburn Community Television. And finally, I realized that things did stay the same. They were in the middle of change and they've stayed that way. And people who, it's changing. Yes, it is. But that's what happens in Auburn.
Well, that's what happens everywhere. You have an evolution, and as they say, the only thing that doesn't change is change itself.
Yes.
And so I should highlight, what we think is the upside of this change.
Yes, you should, Bob. Please do that.
So we're thinking the papers are going to be bigger, bolder, and better.
Bigger, bolder, better.
Yeah, because what we're doing is we're taking the same 24/7 news cycle that we have in news organization, and we're taking that news and we're condensing it into 2 publications rather than 5.
Mm-hmm.
And what it necessarily means is that in the publications that people do open up, in the printed publications, there's going to be more information, more engaging community news. It'll be a better read. And that's a good thing for the community. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good thing. And even for the advertisers, that's a good thing because the papers are thicker and, hopefully this is a platform that we can build on and grow subscriptions because, well, the price of a subscription doesn't stay at the same $157 a year. It goes down. We're going to be $90 a year for a subscription, which makes it a lot more affordable for people. And we have a special that's going to be valid through the end of the year for anybody who wants to commit to 2 years. They can get 2 years for just $99. $90 for 1 year, $99 for 2. It's a pretty simple equation.
Okay.
And the $99 special is on what we call auto pay, where it comes out to just $4.12 a month. It's very simple. And so imagine you're getting 2 papers a week for 4 weeks for just $4.
Okay.
That's not
Okay.
bad.
I would like to go back to editorial integrity.
Yeah.
Which means basically telling the truth.
Yes.
Okay. And even in a community newspaper like the Auburn Journal, this matters. Why?
Well,
And I know the answer. But tell me why it matters.
why it matters. An informed public is critical to our society. If we have people with misinformation, then people are going down different roads for the wrong reasons. And we may be setting up ourselves for conflicts. We may be setting up for just a disjointed community. What we want is an engaged, informed, cohesive community that we can have an evolution like you described. And because that's a force for the good. We together can do wonderful things in community. I mean, you think about life, and life is about the community.
Yeah.
Life is
Life is
about
about
community. It's
Yes.
not just about ourselves, is it?
No, you're right. Yeah. Now I'd like to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
And I say this, pulling myself back. No, I shouldn't do that. What do you say? What is your comment to a young person who finds a hard copy of anything old-fashioned, what do you say to a young person about the importance of a community newspaper? And who focuses, this person focuses mostly on YouTube, on Facebook, on a variety of other things other than his own community. What do you say?
Well, that's a good question, because I think that it's not so much that the hard copy is old-fashioned. That isn't the issue. The issue is the source. And what you want as a young person or any person is information that you can rely on.
Okay.
And whether that's from a trusted source online or a trusted source in print, matters less than that the source is trusted and the source has this commitment to journalistic integrity. And if you can find that, then you're in good hands. You're getting good information. But I would caution any young person to have more than one source of information as well, because all of us need to get many perspectives on it. We're all people. As people, we're all different. We all have different ideas. I don't know anybody who thinks the same as I do about everything. We all have differences. So,
true.
So the more sources we can get, two brains are better than one.
Okay. Okay. Good. I'd like to go back to the Pennysaver and before the Pennysaver. You were involved with this way to mint money, essentially. Please let me help you sell your product. Let me help you sell this pass on this coupon or whatever. But how did you get involved with the Pennysaver? What were you doing before that?
So that was interesting. My undergraduate at Berkeley was in mechanical engineering, and I moved to Southern California to work for a technology company and did for a couple of years. And working there in those couple of years, I worked on master's degrees. I got a master's degree in industrial and systems engineering at USC, and then I tacked on an MBA at the same time. And in doing that, I decided that I really want to get more into business than technology. It was more exciting to me, more interesting to me. And while I was working on my master's degrees, I just by lucky chance I was invited by one of the managers at the company I worked for to come out with himself and some of his friends, on a sailing crew.
Okay.
And my experience with sailing was basically at 8 years old, doing the swim test in the San Francisco Bay, and after 10 minutes of treading water, getting out like a popsicle and going home and saying, I'm never going back to that.
And so he took you on this thing, and then he said, I want you to join me on the Pennysaver and say yes, or I won't take this back in.
Yeah, he was a manager for Hughes Aircraft Company, which was the company I was working for. Right. So he asked me to come and sail with them, and I kind of learned sailing on a big boat, a 50-foot racing boat. They needed somebody athletic, and at the time I played soccer and surfed and did all the fun stuff.
This was in Southern California.
In Southern California.
Okay, where the water was warm.
Where the water was warm. I grew up in Northern California.
Yeah, where the water is cold.
Where the water is cold. I had plenty of experience surfing in cold water here. But sailing was a lot of fun, and our mainsail trimmer on the boat happened to be the executive vice president of the Pennysaver in Southern California. And as I got closer to graduation, between himself and the other manager, they were kind of each trying to recruit me to stay or to come to his company. And ultimately, I did a surf trip to Baja, California for the summer after I graduated, and came back and decided that I would go with the Pennysaver.
Wow. Okay. So. Okay. Sounds like it was an adventure. Yes.
Yeah, and the business was an adventure. Pennysaver was a fantastic company. absolutely very sophisticated in terms of its philosophy and how it treated employees, how it treated customers. We had a number of Harvard MBAs who were running the company, and it was a serious operation and serious fun too. And that was recognized throughout the company. It was part of the culture. I miss it, and I'm bringing a lot of that, I hope, to the Auburn Journal as we evolve.
Yeah, serious fun. Yeah, okay. And in my memory, in my experience at working for the Journal, it was fun.
Good.
People were and still are impressed that I write for the Auburn Journal. That I don't write for the Auburn Journal. I sell my column to the Auburn Journal, and it's a highly respected piece. It's a highly respected newspaper, and I've always felt that community journalism is going to hold on because it's, as you said, it's part of the community. It's an important piece of the community. So when people go online, is it free to go online?
Yeah, you can go online at auburnjournal.com and see a lot of content. There are a paid e-edition that you can buy. It's very inexpensive.
Okay.
And you can get an electronic version of the paper every day we publish.
How long has that been going on?
Since before I got there. It's been going on for years.
I haven't been aware of that. Is that available on the website?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't recall the price of it offhand, but it's relatively inexpensive.
Okay. So if you want to get the whole paper, you can go online at auburnjournal.com and investigate the e-version.
Yeah, you can hit the subscribe button and you can see where a subscription for the e-edition is available.
Great. Okay. So, man, that's really wonderful. Because it is good to go online, but you can't see the whole paper that way. But with the e-version, it's possible. Okay, good. Okay, Mr. Falk, Bob Falk, publisher of the Auburn Journal and heavily involved in Gold Country Media. Thank you very much for joining me. This has been a fascinating conversation, and I really appreciate you joining me. Again, this is Bob Falk, who is publisher of the Auburn Journal, auburnjournal.com, and you can contact him at that address or give him a call, 530-885-5656. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.